Hi, welcome to the Fate of Norn's Ragnarok character creation demo. This video will focus on the core rulebook rules for character creation, even though there are character creation rules in the Children of Eru as well, but we're going to leave that for another video. There are going to be several considerations that you need to think about during character creation, but the three biggest ones are choosing your level, starting level, choosing your essence, and choosing your destiny. Unlike other RPGs where everyone starts at level 1, the Fate of Norn's Ragnarok universe reserves levels 1 through 7 for all of the nobodies of the world. The extras walking around, the farmers, the merchants. Heroes, or your player characters, your dwellers, are going to be starting around level 8, maybe all the way through 12. That's a nice range to start a new set of characters. Once you've set your level, then you're going to spend your levels actually buying essence and destiny. So here we've got on page 134 a really handy chart that kind of goes through every single level and how much essence or destiny you can have at that level. Now, without looking at the chart, the very simple conversion is to buy one essence, which is a rune in your bag, costs you 1 level, and to buy one destiny, which is to draw a rune from your bag for an action, things like that, costs you 2 levels. So if you're making a level 3 character, a level 3 character can only have 1 essence and 1 destiny, because to buy an essence costs a level, to buy a destiny costs 2 levels. So that's a level 3. And so level 3s would be your starting humans walking around. Anyone less than level 3 is someone that does not even have destiny. So someone that is infirm or a newborn child, things like that. So in this chart, we've got everything plotted out for you. At level 8, let's say, you can have 4 essence and 2 destiny, or also 6 essence and 1 destiny. So 6 essence costs 6 levels, 1 destiny costs 2 levels. That's a level 8. So that is pretty much the biggest consideration when you're first starting your character, is you ask your GM, what level should I make them? And then based on that level, you're going to buy essence and destiny for your character. After that, you're going to buy upgrades. And this is, if you ever listen to our overview video, deals with our afterlife mechanics. So anytime your character dies, there's a chance they go into the afterlife. If they make it into the afterlife, you can actually buy these upgrades right away. So things like a Fylgia, you can get Troll-Blooded, you can create Einherjar or Sons of Muspel. All of these are further detailed in the Lords of the Ash book. It's the 3rd one in the series, and it is a big book, just like the core rulebook, and gives you full options for afterlife. Whereas the core rulebook will give you a small sampling size of the types of upgrades that you can get for your character. Next, you need to draw your runes for your essence, right? So if you've got, let's say, 4 essence, you're going to be drawing your runes at random from a bag to determine which runes your character will have. So you have an option to go full random, or you can let your players choose some of them or even all of them. So it really comes down to your game table and how you want to run things. And just a reminder, the colors are your traits. Red runes are physical, blue runes are mental, green runes are spiritual. All of the runes are listed on page 84. These are your physical runes, these are your mental runes, and these are your spiritual runes. When you end up drawing them from a bag, or even choosing them, you can consult some life path tables. This is optional as well. For those players that are kind of struggling, or maybe they want the runes to kind of give them a little bit of a nudge in the right direction with this character, whenever they draw their first rune, they can consult the personality table and see what the personality is for their character. Second rune that they draw, they can consult the motivations table and see what their character's motivations are. This next one, the social standing table. And this is what's going to set your starting income. So this would be one that players should definitely draw randomly, even if they're given the option to choose all of their runes, should actually ask them to draw on this table with a random, bonus rune that they're not going to play with, just to determine what it is. Because anywhere from a thrall, which you start with 5 scat, which are like silver pieces, all the way down to emissary of a demigod, and that will give you a lot of equipment. All of the equipments are loaded out on page 142 and 143, and so these are gear packages that your character will get. The next thing you will need to figure out is, what archetype do you want to play? And in the core rulebook, there are 5 archetypes. In Denizens of the North, we have 6 more. In Lords of the Ash, I think 8 more. And in Children of Eru, another half dozen at the very least. When you're creating a character, you're going to have to choose one of these archetypes, which, if you're coming from a D&D background, we call this a class. Here in the archetype, you'll notice that there are 3 specializations. So if I'm looking at the Scythe Conan, you can be a transmuter, a mesmer, or a necromancer. When you look at the choices, the specialization choices, these are going to get bound to a void rune. Every single character is going to start with 1 blank rune that they're not going to put into their bag. This is what the specialization binds to. So this is the active tables page for the Scythe Conan. Then she has a passive powers page and a skills page. If you choose to have, let's say, 4 essence, then all 4 of your runes are going to have to be bound to each one of these tables. And the rules are the following when you're binding to a table. You start in the middle of the table. And it's kind of like a skill tree, but it's a skill board. You can go in any of the 4 cardinal directions. So I can say, you know what, I want this rune to be Shadow Step for her. So I would write on my character sheet that this runic symbol is Shadow Step. Then I can still unlock the ones that are right next to the starting zone, but now I can unlock anything next to Shadow Step as well. So I can say, you know what, we want Raven's Posture, and we're gonna like bind this here, and we're gonna end up writing this down on a character sheet. Let's say we head south here and get some offensive spells like Bone Snapper, and maybe Sun and Moon. And so this could be a viable build for an active powers choices for a Scythe Kona at something that has Essence 4. Another player might say, you know what, I'm playing a Scythe Kona as well, but I want it to work a lot more in the world of spirits, world of shadows. They can take Invoke the Shadows, Beckon Svartalfheim, Lunging Attack, and Arcane Shield. That could be another set of abilities. Now there is a gray area that you notice on the outside here, and that harkens back to what I was talking about, the unlocks. So when you get levels as a player, you get unlocks, and one of the first ones that you can unlock is the Fylgja, which is the guardian angel of the Viking universe. She'll teach you the outer ring of your board. And a lot of really like party-friendly abilities are hiding in the outside boards as well. Once we've done the active power, we're going to do the same for passive power. So we start with our 4 runes, we go to the passive power table, and we could say, you know what, I want Alabaster Magician, I want Summon Familiar, I want Witchblood, and I want another Summon Familiar to have a higher level Summon Familiar. So instead of level 3, it's going to be a level 6. So this could be another way to set up your passive powers. And then you're going to move over to skills, and you can do the exact same thing. So we're going to do maybe Lore Arcana, Lore Locales, Silent Tongue, and Omen's Importance. And so it's very quick once you know what these abilities do. And that brings us to page 230, where we start talking about all of the active powers, passive powers, and skills. So they're all described at the latter half of this book. So if you're wondering what, you know, Alabaster Magician does, you go to passive powers, find Alabaster Magician, and there you go. Let's go back and finish talking about the Void Rune in your specialization. So if you noticed, each one of these runes has a color, right? A trait. This one's spiritual, it's green. It also has an active power bound to it, a passive power, and a skill. So we're going to do the same thing for your Void Rune. Your blank rune that does not go in your bag, it stays out on your playmat. And for full rules on that, page 85. What you end up doing here is you choose one of these 3 columns. So let's say she wants to be a Mesmer. The trait becomes mental, so this Void Rune will be a blue rune for her. So you could end up taking an unused blue rune out of your rune bag collection and say, this is now going to be my Void Rune. Just always keep it face down because the Void Rune is supposed to be blank. Then you get active Possessed Opponent, you get passive Puppet Master, and skill Lore Arcana. So by choosing the Mesmer, your Void Rune becomes just like all your other runes. It has a color, it is bound to an active, a passive, and a skill. Character creation, it's very simple. So choose your level, choose your essence, your destiny, choose your archetype, and then bind your runes, and you're done. Have a great day.